more, please be happy. Old scars and new friends. Oh, Miho looks real upset. That's fun. Anyways, yeah, let's just get into it. Begin chapter. Why is it like off? It was like oh wait, someone already said it. I'm kind of a little. Oh yeah, no. Oh shoot, I need to adjust these levels absolutely. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that should be good. I obviously don't want to overpower me, and I can fix this if I so need to. If they're too quiet, because I did another game. Oh man, it's gonna be. This is the issue of recording without just using Audacity too. Is that, well, yeah, I need to take like 10 seconds to sync my audio when when I'm editing. At least I don't ever have to worry about me not being able to be heard over the music or the music not being able to be heard above me, because I can balance it. Here, I just kind of have to wing it, and like that, I'm like, I hope that this is the right level, and I have to do like a ton of testing. Like, I don't know. Unless it's like a super duper long series, it just doesn't seem super worth it. Maybe I should make like individual scenes for like each game. Like I should probably make this like a please be happy scene, and then make like stuff for like other games. You know, that'd probably work, I guess. I don't know. Recording is hard. The kind old man takes his books under his arms and shuffles out of the library. A whoosh of cool air passes over me as the door opens and shuts.
Finally, time for a break.
With no one else waiting to be helped, I glance around at the dozen or so people milling about before plopping myself down onto the cushion that Juliet set up for me behind the desk. Who knew that working would be such hard work? These past few weeks since I started helping out at the library have been a bit of a blur. There's always so much to do. At least most of it's pretty easy, like straightening out furniture or putting things away when they get left out. I don't know what the big deal is. I think it looks better when it's a little messy, but it's what Juliet asked me to do, so I do it. Talking to patrons. Aspen taught me that word. Oh, that's cute. Is getting easier as well. The first few times someone came up to me for help, I was so nervous that I could barely speak. There's so much to remember, and there's still so much to learn. I don't like talking to people in general, but it feels easier now. I get a little anxious when I see someone walking up to the counter, but it's not too bad. Aww. Of course, everyone who comes up thinks it's my first day there, even though I've started to recognize some of the regulars. They never recognize me. Aspen's the only one who comes by every day. What I didn't expect was the hardest part would be checking out books to people. There's a sheet of paper with a bunch of little boxes in them, and I'm supposed to write the names of each person and books they're taking. Since I have to copy the letters by hand each time, it takes me a while. If someone has lots of books or ones with really long titles, then it takes me even longer. Oh, that's rough. Sometimes people get a little impatient, but I'm going as fast as I can. Either way, it makes the days go by faster. I wouldn't really call it fun, but I don't hate it either. Having a bit of money that I earned rather than stole feels surprisingly good too. At least I don't have to worry about someone trying to take it back. I hear the front door open again and look up to greet the new person like Juliet taught me. It turns out to be a familiar face, my nerves settling a little at the sight of her. Hey, girl. Oops, sometimes I forget I'm not supposed to be loud here. I say it again, but quieter. Also, I have no idea how big I should be in comparison. Like, should I be bigger? I feel like I'm just small. Maybe I should just go... Boop, boop, boop. That feels more natural. Like, I would like to show off more of me. But now I feel too tall. But that just feels right, you know? That just feels right. Ha. She comes up to the desk and sets down a couple of books that she checked out a few days ago. Hey, maybe you'd get more writing done if you weren't reading so much, lazy bones. I'm kidding. It was a joke. I'm not criticizing you. It's a meme.
One of them I simply couldn't put down because I had to know how the story ends. I was worried it would have a sad conclusion, but the ghost girl becomes real and gets to stay with her girlfriend, and they all live happily ever after.
Is that foreshadowing for this? Am I gonna get rid of that forget me curse and then we can be happy together forever?
The other book was unreadable, unfortunately. I won't be trying that author again.
Oh, that's rough. I hope that's not me in the future.
That's too bad. Should I tell Julia this one? Well, it's not that terrible. I'm sure someone out there could enjoy it, just not me. If you say so.
It seems to me like if Aspen doesn't like a book, then that book must be really, really bad. Maybe I'll ask Juliet about it later anyway. For now, though, I start copying the titles down onto the return sheet while Aspen goes off to find new books. She comes right back as I'm finishing up with a small stack in her hands.
You find books as fast as you finish them. If only I knew exactly what I was looking for this time.
She hands me the pile and I begin writing the names down. I can feel her watching me as my hand makes each slow line.
Say, Miho.
I love Miho's like concentrated look. It's adorable. Oh my god. Also, I've been drawing Miho. I want to do some like little practices of faces at like different angles and that kind of stuff. And I was like, I've been reading this and I love it and I want to draw some Miho. So I did. Next, I want to do Aspen and then I want to do Juliet. I was thinking like, do I want to try Lena and like do other characters from here? I don't know. Maybe. But I also want to draw other things too. So I might just stick with the 3 main girls for this one and then move on later. Follow me on Twitter because I plan to post them there if you guys want to see them. Which I should probably start putting my Twitter handle in or link to my Twitter in general in the description of these if I wanted people to follow me there. Yeah, that would make more sense. She hands me the pile. Oh wait, I have to finish the letter I'm working on before I can pay attention to Aspen.
Yeah? Have you,
Is she gonna ask if you can teach us to write and read, or if we could get lessons about that somewhere? She wrings her hands, looking like she's not sure how to ask her question. Aspen seems to think a lot before she speaks, so I've learned that sometimes it's easier just to make her spit it out.
just say it. I don't mind.
Sure enough, her eyes widen, but she stops fidgeting.
Have you ever considered learning to read and write? It would probably save you quite a bit of time.
It would. I look down at the mess of scribbles on the paper in front of me. Even though I wrote them, they don't mean anything to me. Juliet never seems to have an issue, though, so it's good enough for me.
Not really. I've gotten by fine without it so far. Oh, come on. You can't keep using that excuse for everything. You've been here for more than a month now.
Have we? I thought this was like the end of our like maybe 3rd week here. I was gonna say 2nd, but then she was like, "Hey, I've been at this job for a few days," so I was like, maybe it's been 3 weeks total. What?
Well,
She does have a point there. I told myself so many times that I was going to stop letting my past define me. But still, reading and writing? It would be useful, it's true. With so many letters, though, it seems like a lot of work. And I'm already doing a lot of work as it is.
I don't even know how to start doing that. I'd be happy to help you, and I'm sure
Oh my
Juliet would
gosh.
too. She'd be delighted if you picked it up.
This is gonna sound a little mean. I genuinely forgot like that Juliet would be an option for that, but she literally owns the library. Oh, we're gonna get lessons from both of them, and it's gonna be adorable, and I'm gonna love it. Her usually quiet voice starts to raise, only adding to my doubts. Also, I wanna do. There we go.
I'll think about it, I guess.
She sounds so confident. I love it.
No, I won't take no for an answer.
That's right. Be assertive, Aspen.
I'll do some research when I get home and bring some materials later. We can make a lesson plan and a schedule and...
Listen, Miho, it's not like we literally do anything else. We literally go, pretend to have friends, and then come home. That just got, like, really sad. I don't know why. When I'm sad, I don't put my hood on that often, even though I think I'm adorable in it. But, like, for some reason when I'm, like, sad, I'm like, I kind of want the hood to be on right now.
Whoa. Don't I get any say in this?
Ha, not anymore.
You didn't say no, and that's enough for me. Oh, but that isn't what I came here to talk to you about.
Oh?
Aren't you here to get books? Right, that too. But anyway...
Aspen reaches into her purse and pulls out a slightly crumpled flyer, which she hands to me. Looking at the glossy cover, it's covered in little pictures of vases and statues and other odd... Is she asking us on a date?
There's an exhibition at Te Papa about Korean history and culture for a limited time only.
Okay. It Aspen, you gonna Aspen. Aspen, you gonna say the line? You gonna say the line, Aspen, please? Please help. No. I thought you might be interested in seeing it.
An exhibit at your dad? No, it's our biggest museum. Te Papa is one of the most interesting places in Wellington, perhaps even New Zealand as a whole.
Oh, right. Yeah, I was right. A few episodes ago, I was like, I think this play takes place in New Zealand, if I remember correctly. I was so right. Gosh, my brain is just too big.
You can enter for free, so that isn't a concern. Look, there's even a map of how to get there on the back.
After I flip the flyer over, she points to a map of Wellington. That's very similar to the one I used on my first day here.
This is the Bell House, so you just go up this road, turn here, then here.
I nod as she explains, but it isn't really necessary. I may not be able to read, but I can at least use a map. That's better than I can do.
When I'm at work, so I won't be able to join you.
But I wanted to go with you. Is Juliet interested in museums? Like, we could go, but she could only go at night. I just realized Juliet can only go out and do stuff with us at night. That isn't necessarily an issue, but I'm trying to like think too realistically about this, like of like them being in a relationship. And Miho gets tired at night. Juliet is only awake at night. I don't know.
But I imagine you might appreciate having some time to yourself too.
No, I want friends.
Now that you mention it. Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've had really I've really had a moment to myself. Same. This is like the first moment to myself outside of working out that I've had in like I think like almost 3 weeks, I want to say. It's so nice. That's one of the reasons I really like to record, honestly, because I can just like kind of sit down and just talk to me, if that makes sense. Like it's my recording is like my alone time. That and writing and drawing, because I don't really get a whole lot of I just don't get a whole lot of alone time, basically. Which you might be looking at like how often I record like hour-long videos and be like, you get so much alone time. But that's only realistically because I got so far ahead because I did record like all of Resident Evil 4 in like 3 days. And that was a whole month of work. So, that and Breath of the Wild. I did a lot of Breath of the Wild all pretty close together too. So, other than when I go to bed, I'm always around Aspen or Juliet or the patrons at the library. That's another big change in me. I'm noticing them more and more these days.
I'll check it out. Thanks. Maybe they'll have something that can help me find my person.
Aspen smiles, but it's a thin smile, like she's once again holding back from saying something. This time, however, she doesn't give me a chance to make her say it.
Perhaps, yes.
I think Aspen's thinking that our person's just dead. Because haven't we been looking for them for like, what, like 200 something years? It's, that's gonna be a sad realization. Also, if we ever do if the person is still alive and we go to find them, we're gonna have to leave Aspen and Juliet. Oh gosh, I just realized that if we ever find the person, we're gonna have to, unless they go with us, but they don't want to have to uproot their whole lives just to stay friends with us, I think.
Right, well, I need to get back to work. My break will be over soon.
Okay.
I just wanted to pick these up so I have something to read during any downtime at my shift. I'll see you this evening after I look up some reading resources. Tell Juliet I said hello.
Oh, I'm so excited for the...
Bye.
I'm so excited for the reading lessons. That's gonna be so fun. Wait, did I just skip something? Without any patrons waiting around, I take a closer look at some of the artifacts on the page. Most are cracked and worn with age, but still have a little color to them. A couple have writing on them that I can tell is a different language from the one I've been getting used to copying here. In a way, they seem kind of familiar. Not just familiar, but nostalgic. Like they're related to a memory that's just out of reach. Is it going to be from like where we like originally... Is that why it's called what it is? Because it's like, so who's ever like in charge of it or someone who brings in one of the exhibits is going to be like, from where we come from. Where do we even come from? I don't remember if they've talked about where Miho comes from originally.
Hiya. Got these to check out, please.
I love the background people voices. There's just something funny about them to me.
You got it.
I lift the first book off the stack and slowly begin my process. Maybe Aspen's lessons won't be so bad after all. Hey, listen, Miho. This is like the one time our single brain cell we share has been like off. You know, I'm so down for these lessons. I've been talking about them for episodes, and you're like, eh. Closing time finally comes around. The patrons slowly trickling out. Some of them linger for a while, making their final selections before bringing them up to the counter. Fortunately, Juliet's here to help me, or it'd take me all night to get through the line of people waiting.
Thank you very much, Miss Callahan. We'll see you next time.
Mick Callahan, that's a fun name.
Dottie.
Someone's actually named Dottie? That's incredible.
Only one left to go in the series. Bye-bye, Abdul. Bye-bye, Jamar.
In the time it takes me to finish writing on one person's checkouts, Juliet can get through 5. She knows everyone by name as well as their reading habits. That always impresses me. How does she keep track of all of them? I love Miho going into her impressed faced. I'd raise my hand, but I'm physically incapable. We finally managed to get through everyone, a sigh of relief escaping as the last patron heads out.
Thank you.
My ears prick up at the sound of Aspen's voice as the patron holds the door open for her.
Sorry, we're closed.
Aspen hesitates for a moment as she walks up to the desk, but then she laughs.
You almost had me for a moment.
I collapse onto my cushion while Juliet puts everything away under the desk.
Excellent work today, Miho. You're getting better and better.
And we're about to get even better. We're going to go further beyond when we learn how to read. And write, I guess.
Am I? It doesn't really feel like it. It can be hard to notice your own progress sometimes, but I promise it's there.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. Like, I've been like really hard on my art recently. And like, man, I used to be so much better. Like, I found artwork that's definitely better than what I've been putting out recently. But looking through all of it, I'm like, wait, this is actually like not great. I am just better now. Like that, it's so funny. It's so funny because like you look back on some things like, oh, that was so good. And again, some of it was, but most of it is just way worse than what I'm doing now. And I was like, a reminder of like, maybe I'm being too hard on myself. I have improved more than I give myself credit for.
And it's only going to get better. Look what I brought.
Wait, when's the exhibit? Did we talk about that? She raps her knuckles against the pile of thin books she brought with her. There's also a small bag that rattles when she moves it.
Are those? Yes, they're the phonic books I said I'd bring by. Phonics? Why, Miho? Have you decided to learn to read?
More like Aspen decided for us, but I'm okay with her doing that.
Well, Aspen decided. I guess so.
Gosh darn it, Miho. Get out of my head. I pick up one of the books from Aspen's piles. The words on it are big and written in a very simple style, and so are the pictures that go along with it. I spent enough time in the library now to recognize that these kinds of books are meant for little kids. But I guess that's what I need, isn't it? It's embarrassing, but maybe I can just use that as motivation to learn faster. And if I end up hating it, I can just quit. Like always, I have the option of running away from something I don't like. Still holding the book, I look up to see Juliet and Aspen both watching me, waiting to see what I'll say. I take a deep breath and then smile.
So, how do I start?
Both of them break into a grin as well. Okay, this is gonna sound weird, but like, okay, so Miho's adorable, and we all know that. But she doesn't really look like a little kid, but she kind of... I know we're trying to date these girls, but they kind of are like... what am I trying to say? It feels like they're like our moms in this situation, and they're just taking care of us. Like, we live here for free. They make us breakfast every day. They gave us a job, and now they're teaching us how to read. And like just sitting here silently watching us, waiting for what they're gonna say. And she's just like, haha, so how do we start? Like, you know, like she's trying to impress them. She's trying to not disappoint them. I don't know. It's just a very interesting relationship, I'll say. Not saying that friends can't help each other do this kind of stuff, but it's like, it's just kind of also the way that they act about Miho. Like, they kind of treat her like a kid, you know? Even though she's like 200 years old. Aspen's so eager that she barely waits for Juliet and I to step out from the counter before leading us to a table beside the aisles of books. Guessing that I'll be here a while, I pull up a seat while curious Juliet hovers over my shoulder. She sits down and begins unpacking the bag she brought onto the table, turning out to be a bunch of pens and pencils. She hands me one before placing a small workbook in front of me.
Let's start with the alphabet. Juliet, would you mind? Your handwriting is much better than mine.
Aw, that's cute. I don't know why, but like, this is gonna sound weird, but like, just characters just like complimenting each other is funny. Like, I was watching, I was gonna say out myself as a fan, but like, I don't care if people know if I watch him. I was watching Danny Motto react to Full Metal Alchemist today. Very odd reference. Check him out if you like anime and actually like really fun reaction videos. I think he's like the only reaction channel I watch. The other one I watch occasionally is like Koryax Kenshin. I'm sorry, I need to stay more on topic during this, but again, I think this game just puts me into like such a chill vibe that I'm just so willing to talk about everything, if that makes sense. Like, I've noticed I'm more talkative and more open depending on like how like the game I'm playing, if that makes sense. But like there was just a scene where Ed just goes like, "Hey Armstrong, you're like really good at drawing," and I was like, "Oh, that's so cute. I really like that." And then he immediately hits me with something very similar. I'm like, I'm glad that we think the same. But like, yeah, it's just little stuff like that. Like characters just being like, "Oh, you have like way better handwriting than me. You want to do it?" It's like, "Oh, that's cute." Sorry, I took a drink. I was expecting a little bit more dialogue between them. My apologies. Realizing she's going to be a part of this, she quickly takes a seat to my other side and selects a sleek black pen. Opening the book, she brings her pen to one of the blank lines.
To begin with, this is the letter A.
Gosh, I wish I could dress like Juliet and actually like pull it off. Or not necessarily pull it off, but be like comfortable wearing that all day. Because like I like dressing up in like nice clothes and like a nice jacket with a good old button up and everything. I've never worn like a, would that be like an ascot? I don't know what that'd be called. But like I just know, like I look at her, I'm like, I would love to wear that. I would just be so uncomfortable the whole time. The two of them take turns going through the different letters of the alphabet and showing me how to write them. Although I have a hard time remembering which is which, I pick up the writing part pretty fast, since I've had a lot of experience at work already. Each of them writes an example letter at the top of my paper first, before I take my turn to try it. Juliet's handwriting is very precise and clean, and reminds me of something you'd see on an advertisement or book. Aspen's, on the other hand, is almost as messy as mine. Sometimes I'm not sure she's even writing the same letters as Juliet and I. You know what? At first I was like, that doesn't make any sense, but then the more I went, I was like, it checks out. It checks out. I'm sorry, I don't mean to yawn. I'm sorry, I'm evil. After we get through the whole alphabet, they quiz me by holding up cards with different letters and asking me to name them. I get a lot of them wrong, but I do get a lot of them right too. When Aspen finally calls it quit for the night, I'm a little bit disappointed.
So, how do you feel? I think you make very good progress for this being your first night.
They're proud of us. Oh my gosh.
Indeed. You should be proud of yourself, Miho.
I can't keep a little smile off my face. Maybe I am a little proud.
It was more fun than I thought it'd be. It was tough at first, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. You certainly are. Yes, if you work on it a little bit each night, I'm sure you'll make great progress.
I mean, hey, we have nothing else to do tomorrow outside of work, so we can totally just practice writing. The workbook that Aspen gave me already has a few pages complete because of how fast we were going.
You think I could learn to read by the end of this week?
The look the two of them exchange tells me my answer.
Well, not that quickly, I'm afraid. Even for the fastest learners, it still takes a few months to make much progress in reading.
Yeah.
How quickly you pick this much up, though, I think you'll do just fine. Oh, I see.
Bro, imagine living for 200 years and then being disappointed when you hear that something is going to take a few months. Could never be me. I've been expecting this to take a few nights at most, but months? That's a lot longer than I was anticipating. I must look disappointed because Aspen frowns and leans forward.
Don't as you're getting a little better every day, you'll be able to notice the results soon. Here, why don't you try this?
Aspen gets up from the desk and maneuvers behind me, putting her hand on top of mine. It's a little shaky, and I notice her face is red as she makes a point not to look at me. Is she getting all... Look how cute... Wait, hang on. Hang on. Wait. I don't know what I was going to do with me. I was just going to, like, look at her like, oh my gosh, look how cute she is. I don't know why that was where my brain went to do it, but then I started, like, doing it, and I was like, I might as well show you guys what I was thinking in my brain. But she's so cute, and she's trying to not be all blushy. That's adorable. I almost jerk it away out of instinct, but keep my cool instead. I'm not used to people touching me, but I know that with Aspen it's just a friendly gesture.
Here, follow these lines.
She gently guides my hand up and down across the paper, slowly forming the letters on the page with me. After 4 letters, she stops and scurries back to her chair. Juliet's snort of amusement from my side confuses me further. See, here's the thing. Aspen didn't need to do that. She just wanted to do that.
Can you read what that says?
I look down. The word on the page looks familiar. I squeeze my eyes shut, picture the cards and what they were holding up and what each letter sounded like. Oh, it's her name.
Miho.
With a jolt, I realize it's my own name. Juliet and Aspen both clap excitedly, a blush forming on my cheeks.
Yes! You did it!
I still can't shake the feeling that it's kind of embarrassing to have them cheer me on for something so simple. But look at you, you love it. It's awesome, Miho. Good job. Looking down at the paper with my name on it, though, I have to smile a little too. This is the first time I've written my own name, even if I did have Aspen's help. It's the first time I've read it myself too. I stare at it intently, committing the shape of those letters and the motions that make them into my memory. I've used so many names in my life, but for some reason, this one feels a bit special. Just for good measure, I write it down a few more times to practice each time. I get a little bit less shaky and a more legible.
Thank you. Seriously.
Even if this wasn't my idea to start with, it feels like a new milestone in my life already. The start of something else that's new. I can add that to my list.
It's our pleasure. Right. Especially since, I did kind of force you into it.
And Aspen, I love that you did.
It's okay. Turns out I need people to make me do stuff sometimes. I'm certainly good at that. I have to wait until
Oh?
I've already stayed a bit too late as it is.
I'm certainly good at that. What do you mean by that, Aspen? Oh my gosh.
How my? I hadn't even noticed the time. It sure did fly by, didn't it?
As she gets up to leave, Julia and I take to our feet as well. Before realizing it, I let out a yawn.
I'll leave all this stuff with you, Miho, so you can study at your own pace. I'll try to come by at nights as well to help you practice.
But I don't want to take too much of your time away from writing, though.
And you're always welcome to ask me for advice.
Yeah, I realized I kept asking Aspen to do this, but then I was also like, I mean, Juliet's probably also really good at... I mean, she reads a ton, so she'd probably also be good at teaching me too. Maybe it just makes more sense since we already live together and you don't have to go as much out of your way. I don't know. I'm thinking way too hard about this, as if Aspen's a real person. If she could come... You know what I mean? Because I like actually started thinking like, well, I also don't want to take too much of her time away from writing. You know, like that'd suck. I really want her to reach her goals and get out there and, you know, succeed in life. Like I think Juliet and I should do it because then Aspen doesn't have to walk here and walk back. We already live together. She can focus on her writing and stuff. And then I was like, wait, this is a visual novel. This is a game. She's not a real person. It doesn't. Anyways.
Thanks. I'm gonna practice during work too, and I don't have anything else to do. That sounds wonderful. Good night, you two. Thanks for having me over. Bye, Aspen. Good night, Aspen. We'll see you soon.
With her trademark smile and wave, Aspen leaves the library. The two of us watch her as she heads out into the night's darkness outside.
I imagine you must be tired too, right? Yeah. Now that you mention it, I
My hands are sore from all the writing, and my palm is colored gray with smeared pencil lead and ink.
Can't believe that wore me out.
Using your brain, man. It does it.
You had a full day of work, too. You should get some rest. I'll finish cleaning up and preparing for tomorrow. Are you sure? I didn't really do many of my chores today. I'm certain. Go on, go to bed.
See, this is what I kind of mean. Like, I know she's doing it to be nice, but like just the way that Miho's like, well, I didn't really actually like do my chores. And then she's like, no, 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 I got it, girl. Go take care of yourself. Go to bed. I don't know. I don't know. Secretly glad to be heading to bed rather than doing more work, I start to head out. As I look back, Juliet playfully waves me out of the room.
And thanks again. You're always welcome, Miho. Have a good night.
With a pause for another yawn, I stretch and head up the stairs. I'm going to sleep well tonight. As I lie in bed and wait for sleep to take me, I reflect on my day like always. Today was a good day. I accomplished a lot and feel proud of myself. I can tell that Julia and Aspen are proud of me too. That's taken some getting used to. It still wears me out to think that people care about me, that they think of me even when I'm not around them. They're excited for me about things that don't affect them. It's weird, but in a good way. Now that I think about it, it's been a while since I had a bad day. The shock and uneasiness of having a safe place to live and a stable life have worn off, and my daily routine has become just that, routine. I thought I'd never get used to things like this, that they'd never be real for me. Well, it turns out I was wrong. Rather than constantly overthink everything, I've gotten better at just going with the flow. I think that's something to be proud of too. Rolling onto my side, I look around my room. It hasn't changed too much since I moved in, but it still feels distinctly mine. This isn't just a space that I happen to be in. Smiling, I close my eyes and roll onto my other side. Just when did I become so sentimental? It's hard to say, but maybe that's okay too. I don't mind who I am right now, and my friends don't either. That's enough for me. With peaceful thoughts like that drifting through my mind, I also drift off to sleep. Alright, and with that, I will see all you beautiful people in the next one. Bye-bye.